for Saturday evening, January 28th, 2023. And we have, out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Two of Pentacles coming in hot. So I'm really feeling with this is an energy here of having a lot of difficulty balancing things in your life right now. And you can see that the waters right behind this person, they are raging. And when we're talking about water, this is very much representing our emotions at this time. So having a lot of difficulty controlling your emotions within a relationship, within a work situation. And I really feel that this brings in a level of having to deal with some dodgy type energy, right? So I'm feeling as though maybe you yourself have not been the most reliable person in the past. You tend to go with the flow of things, and this is the way you like it, right? You really want to be able to feel your way through your life and, kind of throw caution to the wind and follow your heart. And I feel that this is really good on some level, right? You feel free when you can do that. And I feel like doing this, you do things with great speed. Maybe not necessarily with the most accurate decision-making skills, but you do this very intently. When you feel the energy shifting, you follow that. You definitely like to be able to go with the flow. I do feel like there's this energy that you kind of have, that you're like, you know what, I've been there, I've done that, I've done this before. And so you reinvent yourself in ways where you're able to use your skills that you've learned in the past, easily create shortcuts to allow yourself to do this more easily. And so you use your skills that you've learned in the past, and these shortcuts allow you to quickly do things, quickly move through transition periods, quickly make those decisions and get yourself into a new space entirely, right? You can make a decision to do something and you have that done and set up, and you're moving forward. Your transition phase may not last as long as other people's. I feel that, for you. So, I really feel like where people in your close circle may not be very receptive to that, because maybe they are a little less likely to accept that change or embrace that change, or they would like to see you in a more stable traditional environment. I feel that they may feel like this is a bit of a vicious circle for you. And so they may view you as someone who is making a quote unquote mistake, right? And so I feel like you've been accustomed to that, right? Being the black sheep of the family, so to speak. And so you know that role well, and it's not surprising that you've landed yourself into that position again. And so they are calling it like they see it, and you are assuming that role. And I feel as though you know that, hey, to act in error, well, that is me, and so I am a screw up, right? The role that you take on, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are a screw up. You could be feeling as though you will never be anything but a screw up in this person's eyes or in your family's eyes. And so I feel like this person, they could be very traditional in their thinking, very traditional in like old school type ways. They could be an elder in your family. And so I feel as though this person may feel like maybe even questioning right down to like what you believe in terms of your faith. And I feel as though, I get this like Pentecostal type feel, right, where baptized by the Holy Spirit and blessed with the gifts of God. And so I feel like this whole energy comes in with that, where this elder may feel that they have to kind of come in and so to speak, kind of clean up after you in life's mess, so to speak. And so they very much feel like you rely on them, or maybe you do feel as though you rely on them, where they also may on some level feel sadly, I don't want to say ashamed, but maybe embarrassed at times by you, where they could be talking about you, and where a family member might be super excited to announce a job change or a relationship change or something like that for their family member. They kind of shy away from those conversations. They don't bring those things up when it comes to you. And I feel like this is where you feel sad about that, because you feel almost as if you would go to the ends of the earth for this person and cross oceans for this person, and you are just embracing who you are. Maybe even like have some Sagittarius placements in your chart where you would just turn on a dime to recreate your life in a whole new way and love adventure. And I just feel as though you just need to remain flexible. And that's what this is all about with this Two of Pentacles, is being able to balance all of those things while seeking that adventure, reinventing yourself and creating that adventure for your life, and while being flexible, being a completely different character at times in your story. I feel as though you've had to change your hat, so to speak, this red hat. You've had to change your hat a lot with the changing tides in the back. So when we talk about changing your hat, and had to be a different character, I feel like maybe that could be in terms of how you conduct yourself on your day-to-day level in recreating yourself, or that could just be attesting to how you change your hat from one role to another within that family dynamic or within your own individualism. I feel as though you are changing that hat quite often, trying to balance all of those roles, trying to be the person that your family is super excited about and proud of, but also fulfilling your own inner desires and wishes and mission while you're here. And so I feel with this, it's the word fictitious kind of comes through, right? And I feel it's a romantic type of fictitious energy, where I feel like you could have been imagining your life, your whole life, and thought that it would be at this day and time a certain way. And so your whole life you have been projecting that and feeling like, gosh, I can't wait until I'm this age or that age and it's going to be like this. I'm going to have a whole family of my own and children, or however that may have looked, right? Or I might have this solid career and I'm going to live far away from my family, or I'm going to have my own house, or whatever that looked like, whatever you were building those expectations up to be. I feel like you kind of fell in love with that story. And so whether it was in a relationship that you were putting out expectations, a career, just in general what you wanted within your desires for your life, I'm feeling like you kind of fell in love with that story. And now you could be finding yourself at a bit of a crossroads, so to speak, where you're finding, okay, maybe I have all of that, and is this something that is fulfilling for me? Maybe not necessarily. So you're seeking that adventure and you're seeking to reinvent yourself. Or maybe you haven't achieved that and that isn't what you want at all. And you're now faced with this decision: do I change my hat? Not the hat of your role within your family and who you need to be for your family, a daughter, son, sister, brother, mother, father, whatever, but changing your hat entirely in terms of, who am I at my core? And when you talk about standing in that truth and in honoring that authenticity, does changing that hat change who you are and where you've come from, the past that you've gone through, and how it's shaped and molded you into who you are today? And how can you still stay true to who you are and what you want, those desires that still remain intact? How can you be true to that and then also reinvent yourself, right? So I feel like it's a struggle to kind of keep it all in balance right now. And maybe you're thinking, gosh, maybe I need to take a step back from this relationship within my family because I can't worry so much about bringing someone into my life that isn't rooting for me 100%, or where I have to worry about their expectations and what they want in my life for me when I'm trying to figure that out for myself right now. So maybe you would, that balancing act of this Two of Pentacles would be to let that relationship go for a little bit, or take a step back from it, not be as involved with that while you're trying to put more energy and effort into figuring out what hat am I going to put on, and how can I do that while still remaining true to who I am at my core, and honoring my values, my morals, and all of the things throughout that whole process, and honoring, where I've been and where I'm going, and what I want in my life, and how can I create all of that. So I do feel like this could bring up where you could be going toe to toe, have a direct confrontation with someone that is close to you, a loved one. But I do find that it could be, I do think that you'll find that it will be you just simply standing up for what you believe in, right? I think that there is fundamental differences in your beliefs, and I think that there's power in you standing up for what you believe in, and I think that it's going to teach you how resourceful you really are. And I think that going forward, that's going to be instrumental in you redefining yourself and putting on a new hat, but still remaining true to who you are, right? Without all of these external expectations. So I do feel this energy that comes with this, that it's just going to be like Spirit kind of sitting up there like, well played. And so I do, and I get chills with that, big chills, that I do feel like you have it in you to be successful and to really pull this off with ease even. So don't overthink it. And I do feel like, of course, I think it would be unrealistic to think that you're going to move through this energy and not expect some sort of hardship. I think maybe even if you're already not experiencing a hardship, right? But it's going to turn up, but you will turn that inside out, and you will be able to work that to your advantage, because there's lessons in all of that. And I really feel like you're a master in training, or a master in the making. And so really giving this all that you've got is going to turn you into a very wise being, right? And when I say that, I feel the energy of just a warrior, someone who's been through everything, hit rock bottom and climbed back up to the top, like came from the bottom, now we're here, like the lyrics to that song. I really feel like you're a survivor and you can do this. And I think that throughout all of this, as long as you are being mindful to how you take care of yourself and keep yourself solid throughout all of this, I think that that's where you do the true survivor stance, right? Like the outwit, outlast, outplay, and really get yourself into a space where you can take anything that comes at you and, turn it into a good situation, right? Where you're not so worried about what's coming at you or how it shows up, but you just take that as it comes, and you end up learning what you need to learn as you go through it, and you are able to just breathe and relax through the whole thing because you got this. And so staying grounded in reality is really important, making sure your goals are realistic, staying grounded in general, doing grounding techniques, getting your feet on the bare grass if you're in a place that's warm, things like that, taking a nice Epsom bath if that's something that you're into, really working through some of those things. Meditation can be very good for you, balancing your energy with Reiki. Nature, exercise can clear our energy too, and paying attention to our sleep habits and our eating habits, making sure that we're eating foods that are nourishing for our body, that are healthy for us. And I just feel compelled to here to say drinking water, lots and lots of water right now. I feel that that's super important. So taking good care of yourself, because who you are at your core, you do all of these things to take care of yourself, then you're stronger, right? And so as things come at you, you're stronger here, and then you can't get knocked off balance. You might get knocked off center as you take that hit from life, so to speak, right? But you're not going to fall over from that if you're strong in your core. And so with that, if you're falling back on a good routine and you're doing all of those things and you're being patient with yourself throughout this whole process, the other things become a little less monotonous, right? Where you can see that the emotions of this, the chaos, the turmoil that you might be feeling internally, becomes where it fades to the background, just like it does on the card, which is beautiful, because that's just a piece, just one piece of this whole process. Because you have to deal with your day-to-day. How can I balance this today? How can I keep myself in balance today? And we're not just talking about emotions. We're talking about how can we take care of our physical body? How can we manage our roles every single day? How can we do all of these things and focus on our goals still and keep one foot in front of the other and our head above water, right? So the emotions, they are transient, you know, they will come and go. And so knowing that and not over identifying with those things as you're working through all of this is very important, because once you get to where you want to be going, peace. Your peace will just be overflowing. Your joy will be overflowing. You're going to be in a whole different vibrational space, and you're going to be leveling up so much with that. So this will, be just a phase for you. So just know that. So this is about moving through this energy of transition and allowing yourself to get to the other side of that, so that you can fall in love, like a true love, like give passion to what you've created, and how you got there is not going to be so important. So I love that so much, and I hope this resonates for you in some way, shape, or form. And if you're feeling inclined to share the reading, please do so for those that may be able to benefit from the reading. If you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can book a session with me on the Square site pinned in the description box below here on the YouTube, or at the top of the page on my personal, on my business page, Facebook, Enchanted Emerald, or you can just simply email me, enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. So if there's anything that you felt resonated with you throughout this reading, feel free to hit me in the comments, and I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.